Hey everybody, welcome to another episode at Project Nine Oaks. This weekend we're going to be working back on the camper project. The other week I was installing the LED running lights around the top of the camper. This time it's time to connect them all up. So I'm going to be in the camper, crimping wires with the hot and the ground line, running them through the camper to the front, and I have a new 7-pin connector that I'm going to install on the front part of the camper. I'm also going to keep the original tail lights. I couldn't find a good replacement for them, so I'm just going to keep those original tail lights. They are running those incandescent bulbs in them, but they're pretty standard bulbs, and don't really want to change the setup too much right now. So I'm just going to run what is there and go from there. So I'm going to get started on showing you the supplies that I've got. I'm going to show them you here a little bit closer on the workbench. So we're going to go over the supplies, everything that I purchased, and then we're going to go over to the camper and start plugging in, these lights and seeing if it all works. So anyway, appreciate you guys sticking around for this video. If you would, subscribe to my channel and like this video. Appreciate it. All right, so here are the two tail lights. These were installed, the passenger side, driver side, and there's not much to them. It's just kind of already secured in the fixture part of it, the light fixture, and it has the two wires coming out the back, and the bulb is in the middle. So not much to it. I do have the lenses that are on the outside, those kind of things, but I wanted to check and make sure these work. So I got a spare battery here. It's always good to have these, and I'm not sure which one of these wires is the bright and which one is the your kind of standard running light. So you're going to have one hot hooked up to one of these wires and the other one's ground. So okay, that's pretty bright. So I'm going to keep that. So the red looks like the bright one. Yeah, so that's the running light. The black is the running light, and the red is your brake light. All right, let's see if it works for this one. There we go. All right, brake light works. Ooh. There we go. Running light works. So I'm going to have to run, the running lights I'm going to be doing this weekend, so I'm going to be connecting just this side of it, and then I'll have to run a ground wire, which is what this hole is for, I believe. Originally they were grounded just by attached to the skin of the camper, but I'm not really going to do that. In my configuration, I'm going to run ground wires to all the fixtures. So okay, that's good. These work. They got to be cleaned up. This rust is going to be taken off. I think I'm going to spray paint this black. So I'm going to clean this up. The lenses themselves are pretty dirty, and actually this was broken before I took it off. I didn't cause this, so I'm going to glue that back on there. Clean these. Here are the other supplies. I have 14 gauge wire for this. I'm going to be using the running lights are going to be in green. The ground is going to be white. 14 gauge wire. This red is for later. I'm debating on if I'm going to use this 12 gauge. So when I'm going to connect all the running lights together and run it under the camper in a conduit, and when I bring all those together, do I need a bigger wire is kind of what I'm still kind of mulling over in my head. So I may connect them all to a 12 gauge wire to run under the camper to the front. So that's what those are. I have some kind of butt connectors for the wires, and some wire nuts if I'm going to do it that way. So anyway, this is all the supplies. I do have a new 7-pin connector and a kind of a terminal box to plug everything in, make it look pretty. So this is all we got. I hope this is really all I need. So we'll see. So I'm out here at the camper, and my plan is to get started on the front, kind of tongue of this camper first. So this is all kind of got some rusted areas and the paint's flaking off. And so my plan is to get this ground down and painted or primed at least this morning before I get started on all the lights, because that 7-pin connector and its kind of junction box is attached to this. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done first so I can prime it and wait for that to dry, and I can go back into the camper and do the lights. All right, well, I had some help cleaning off the front part of this. We used a angle grinder with some wire wheel, and then some more wire wheels on a drill to get up into the kind of intricate places. We cleaned it off with some mineral spirits, and now it is time to spray paint. So I have some Rust-Oleum automotive primer that I'm going to use first, the first coat, and then I'm going to have this high performance enamel that I'm going to put on after it. And so I think this will work out well. I've already sprayed some other projects with these, and they've worked out well, and they've been left in the rain and everything, and no issues. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get that started. So I've got it all taped off here, so hopefully we just get paint on this part of the trailer, and let's get going. All right, ready? All right, we'll start shaking that one up. All right. Okay, well, I've got all the hot wires wired in on these running lights on the back. All I did was put these, kind of terminal connectors or butt connectors in. They're for 14 gauge wire. I believe these are 16 gauge, so but they still were able to fit. So I've got basically one wire for each light. It goes down through this chase that was already in the corner of the camper here, and it goes to the back, kind of the utility area in the back. And so what that's going to be is I'm going to join them together and have another run that goes up to the front of the trailer. So here you go. I got these done for all the back lights, and through here you can see. And so now I'm just going to do all the ground wires, do the exact same thing to where they're running through this chase, and it comes to the bottom. And then we're going to try to maybe see if they work, hook up a quick battery to them to test them out to see if they all shine before we get going. But anyway, this is it, just to give you an idea of what my setup is on the running lights. All right, so I think that's going to be it for the day. This is really just part one. So what I've got so far is I've wired up the back lights. They're on the top. I have not wired in the brake lights yet. So as I showed you earlier, the top lights are wired in. The positives are individually wired, each light, and then the negatives, the grounds, I ended up kind of grouping them together. I didn't run so many wires down the chase, down this side of the camper. So I wired like the ends, the other, the end 2 together, and then the middle 3, and then the other end 2 together. And so I brought them in, and they're all kind of down here and ready to be kind of put together. So I have them all twisted together, and I think what I'm going to do now is test them out with a battery, and just to see if they work, and then we'll go from there. So part 2 will be, continuing this run to the front, and then I'm going to wire in the front lights, and then hook it up to the trailer connection. So I think this is a good part 1, kind of finish off the day with this, and then I'll hopefully get to this tomorrow, but we'll see. I'm going to bring you in here real quick, and I'll show you what I got going on. If you can see up in here, so these are all the wires coming out from the top. This is the chase. It's got like a little cutout in the framing, and so all the wires come down here and they're grouped together, and I have this alligator clipped now, and then all of the ground wires are sticking out the side here just so I can have them separate. So we're going to go ahead and plug them in. Let me set you back up on this tripod here. And so all I have is a just a 12-volt battery. Go ahead and plug this in. So hopefully these work. This is little jumper wires that I had Alright, come on. Alright, so those. Alright, here goes nothing. Alright. We're working. So I got the red lights off the back. Orange light is on. I don't know, y'all can't really tell with the sunlight. Yeah. So it looks good. Well, I'm glad they're working. There's always a little bit of trepidation when you hook up electrical work to see if it works out for you. But that's good news that it's worked out so far. So now I know it works to this junction of the wires, and when I hook them up to run them through the camper, if it's not working in the front, then obviously that was the issue. So anyway, we're gonna cut this off as a part 1, and then pick it up later and get the other half of it and get it all buttoned up. But I appreciate you sticking around for this video. If you would, subscribe to my channel and like this video. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.